Hey guys, Royal Cameraman here. In this video, you will find out what really happened on the Alpha Hills conveyor belt in the distant 68th episode. What exactly did the secret agent say to the Skibidi Scientist? Why can't the TV Men faction provide other Alliance factions access to the teleportation smoke technology? And for what reason was the Speaker Man Titan absent during the Speaker Armada's counterattack in the 78th episode? I think no one will argue with me if I say that the Skibidi Toilet series is the most popular among all indie projects on the YouTube platform. No other web series has managed to achieve such success, but this does not negate the fact that the Skibidi Toilet series is quite difficult for a new viewer to perceive. There are many reasons for this, but one of them is the poorly explained events in the episodes. The series has quite a few seemingly inexplicable moments at first glance, which look like supposed plot holes to a new viewer. But what if these are not just flaws in the series' script, but important plot details that we should pay special attention to? Last year, the Russian YouTuber Fordel asked Mr. Boom a rather interesting question. Is there an episode where you left something important for the plot, but nobody noticed it or paid proper attention? To which Mr. Boom replied, yes, and more than one. And in this video, I decided to start an experimental segment, which I will call Anti-Plot Hole, in which I will try to explain in detail some unclear plot moments in the series, and in particular, find those very important details for the plot that we did not pay proper attention to. I won't keep you waiting. Let's go. Let's start with current events. Surely everyone expected Mr. Boom to show the third version of the Speaker Titan in the 78th episode. This would have been logical, as the Titan is the main force of the entire faction. Despite the epic appearance of the Speaker Armada and the mini version of the Armada Titan in the form of the Executor, we still wanted to see the long-awaited return of the Speaker faction. But why wasn't the Speaker Man Titan 3.0 present in the 78th episode during the Speaker Armada's counterattack? And where could he have been at that moment? In reality, the Speaker Scientist simply hadn't finished the Speaker Man Titan 3.0 yet, and its full announcement will take place in the 79th episode. But why wasn't it finished? The answer to this question lies right on the surface, and it's enough to recall what happened to the Speaker Titan in the period from the 65th to the 74th episodes. He survived 4 critical battles, with fake G-Man, with the Titan Skibidi Scientist, with the real G-Man, and the Astro Fleet attack. Throughout this entire period, he did not recover at all and continued military actions in a damaged state. But after the confrontation with G-Man in the 73rd episode, his damage became critical. Loss of legs, major head deformation, severe core damage, internal arm fractures. Because of all these injuries, the Titan could not even move independently. Additionally, in the 74th episode, he endured the attack of the Astro Fleet. And while the classic representatives of the Speaker Armada were simply modified and supplied with red energy, the Titan Speaker Man was specifically recovering because he had received fundamental damage. And consequently, his modernization will require more time. I won't stray far from the topic of the Speaker Armada and will ask you a seemingly simple question at first glance. What do you think the representatives of the camera and speaker factions of the first, second, and third versions have in common? Most likely, the majority of you will hesitate when answering this question, and I will answer. Armament and equipment, or more precisely, the absence of one very important element, access to the teleportation smoke technology. And yes, I consider this specifically a technology and not a special property of purple energy. There is one indisputable fact for this, in the form of the Skibidi Scientist, who long ago learned to use teleportation technology for the benefit of the Skibidi toilets. If the Skibidi Scientist was able to endow his own soldiers with this technology, what is the problem with providing the representatives of the other 2 Alliance factions with the teleportation smoke technology? Let's recall that even the newest Cameraman Armada 3.0 did not have the technology for teleportation, and they were evacuated from the battlefield in the 77th episode by the TV Men. Otherwise, they simply would have died. With 90% certainty, I can state that the Speaker Armada will also lack this technology. Of course, one could assume that the TV faction intentionally does not give this technology to other Alliance representatives due to their superior ego, but this is too absurd a hypothesis, especially considering the current situation on the front lines, where agents are dying in droves, and teleportation would be extremely useful to them, significantly reducing the mortality rate. With the release of the new 78th episode, we have come closer to unraveling this mystery. At the moment of the teleportation of the counterattacking squad, led by the police TV Man, he begins his monologue about the mysterious dimension of the teleportation smoke, asking us rhetorical questions about Jeffrey, that's the name of this Skibidi toilet, and about the temporal assessment of the shadow dimension. In simple terms, is he in the past or in the present? Simultaneously, Buzz Mutant, from whose perspective we watched the 78th episode, begins to see hallucinations from the past, how the Skibidi Scientist recreated him, and then a city explosion occurs. From the dialogue, one can understand that the TV Men themselves do not understand what the shadow dimension represents. And from the full version of the 77th episode, we learn that Hakuna Nagashita, whom we know as the TV scientist, conducted an unsuccessful experiment with that very teleportation smoke, which he calls the gates. Moreover, all the events shown were merely visions of Daddy TV Man, from whose perspective we observed the events of the Astro Toilet's attack on the TV Men's base. What am I getting at? The TV Men themselves have still not fully studied this technology. They know how to apply it and how to endow other Alliance representatives with it. But to avoid casualties, as already happened with Jeffrey, they deliberately refrain from doing so, as they have not invented a safe method for representatives of other factions to use this technology. But how then did the Skibidi Scientist manage to subdue the gates technology and use the teleportation smoke technology for the benefit of the Skibidi toilets? If we delve deeper into this question, one can understand that the Skibidi Scientist not only managed to achieve the same level of knowledge in teleportation as the TV faction, but also to surpass them. That is, the Skibidi Scientist was able to unlock the hidden potential of this technology. For example, when teleporting Skibidi toilets, they do not need to stick together. It is enough for them to be within the smoke area. Besides this, let's not forget that for the scientist, the other warriors were just trash that wasn't scary to lose. The non-ideal and unsafe operation of the gates does not prevent him from using it on his rank-and-file soldiers. Even if a couple of warriors get lost during teleportation, he wouldn't feel sorry for them, which cannot be said about the other members of the Alliance. After all, every warrior is a person whose life is important. But let's return to the main question. How did the scientist manage to achieve such knowledge in this technology, or more correctly, thanks to whom? In the second part of the 70th episode, the squad tasked with eliminating the scientist finds themselves in an Alliance storage warehouse. In this room, Lucky Cameraman draws our attention to two mysterious books with TV faction emblems. It is precisely in these textbooks that all the information about the teleportation smoke technology is recorded. But where did the Skibidi Scientist get these books? Of course, one could assume that the Skibidi Scientist himself kept a mysterious book and recorded all the features of the TV faction technologies. But with 90% certainty, I can state that he specifically received these books, and it was thanks to them that he was able to master the teleportation technology. But who exactly could have provided these two such valuable books? The answer is simple. It's the secret agent. After the elimination of the Skibidi toilet, Plunger Man and Dark Speaker Man headed to the final room where the Skibidi Scientist was hiding. But along the way, we can hear a dialogue between the Skibidi Scientist and the secret agent. In it, the secret agent, responding to the Skibidi Scientist, says, "Because I know this, I don't need you, you won't be able to escape. My little pawns will kill you. Well then, I guess I can't trust you. Farewell." That is, the fact of their collaboration was indeed confirmed to us. But what exactly did the agreement consist of? It consisted precisely in the transfer of information about the Alliance to the scientist. That is, all the technologies and capture plans, supposedly developed by the scientist, were actually provided by the secret agent. Parasites, Skibidi mutants, different types of energy, all this was provided specifically by the secret agent. But what was the benefit for the secret agent from the agreement with the scientist, and how exactly did the scientist betray the secret agent? It's quite simple. The fact is that a long time ago, the secret agent began collaborating with the Skibidi Scientist, providing him with TV faction technologies. The Skibidi Scientist was obligated to maintain resistance against the Astro Toilets, and in the event of their invasion, to unite in an alliance with the Alliance to completely repel their attack. But as the Alliance advanced against the Skibidists, the Skibidi Scientist decided, despite the terms of the agreement, to resort to the help of the Astro Toilets, providing them with those very TV faction technologies. As a result, upon invading Earth, the Astro Toilets had already developed goggles against television hypnosis, as well as an understanding of how to control the teleportation smoke. This is precisely what was described in the agreement between the Skibidi Scientist and Astro Scorpion. The secret agent learned about the breach of the agreement, which is why he decides to help the formed infiltration squad reach the Skibidi Scientist in order to completely eliminate the traitor. Not straying far from the topic of Alpha Hills and the secret agent, in the 68th episode, we are shown the advance of the assault squad. Plunger Man, from whose perspective we watched this episode, notices a Skibidi loader and makes the decision, despite the risks, to scout this conveyor belt. But what confused me most in this scene were two factors. The fact that Lucky Cameraman tried to stop Plunger Man, and the fact that while observing the conveyor belt, a transmission error recording error occurs. In the future, we will find out that for representatives of the cameramen, such an error only occurs during interaction with the secret agent's side. This series of facts cannot be a mere coincidence, and the fact that in the distance we can see a green glow, which, I remind you, only appears with the secret agent, suggested to me even during the first viewing of the 69th episode that this is not a simple conveyor belt with Skibidists, and it clearly hides something. Regarding this, a whole picture of events formed in my mind. In order for you to correctly understand my thought, I suggest we first consider the chronology of that moment. First, Plunger Man notices the Skibidi loader, Lucky Cameraman, unsuccessfully tries to stop him. Together with the large cameramen, Plunger Man investigates the conveyor belt. A green glow is visible in the distance. The alarm is activated, as a result of which the squad is discovered. That is, someone first activated the alarm, and only after that did the Skibidists notice our squad. But who could have activated it, and who benefited from giving away the assault squad, and most importantly, for what purpose? Pay attention. At the moment when Plunger Man turns back, we see only Lucky Cameraman, a regular cameraman, and Dark Speaker Man. All the other agents were already in the elevator, including the cameramen twins, as if the remaining squad was given an instruction by someone not to follow Plunger Man. And the most interesting thing, before the alarm was activated, green interference occurred. Isn't that suspicious? Surely you already understand what I'm getting at. The secret agent did not plan for the assault squad to conduct reconnaissance of Alpha Hills, which is why Lucky Cameraman tried to stop Plunger Man, as this was not part of the plan to eliminate the Skibidi Scientist. Realizing that the special agents physically could not stop Plunger Man, the secret agent gave instructions to the twins. The first was supposed to persuade all the remaining agents to enter the elevator to avoid huge losses, and the second twin, under disguise, was urgently teleported to that very alarm activation button, thereby drawing the attention of the conveyor Skibidists to Plunger Man and the other agents who went scouting. To strengthen my theory, I want to say that in the extra scenes for the 23rd season, the secret agent teleported Lucky Cameraman back to the warehouse, and it would not have been difficult for him to also teleport the twin. But why did the secret agent need to give away the assault squad? However paradoxical it may sound, if the secret agent had not forced one of the twins to give away the assault squad, then all of them would have been completely eliminated. Pay attention that at the moment when Plunger Man, Large Cameraman, and Lucky Cameraman are running away from the conveyor Skibidists, a Skibidi hunter is already flying towards them. But upon detailed examination of the Skibidi hunter, one comes to the realization that he does not resemble the conveyor workers at all, meaning this is not a worker Skibidist, but specifically a combat one, aimed at destroying agents. And here a hypothesis arose in my mind that he was sent to destroy the squad from the very beginning of their infiltration into Alpha Hills, and was supposed to eliminate them. From the very beginning, a Skibidi hunter was pursuing our assault squad. Let's not forget that Lucky Cameraman had a tablet with access to all the cameras in the Alpha Hills laboratory, and he could easily have detected the Skibidi hunter. Therefore, Lucky Cameraman hastily led the assault squad to get into the elevator, thereby escaping the pursuit of the Skibidi hunter. But Plunger Man decides to conduct reconnaissance of the conveyor belt. The secret agent, realizing that if Plunger Man did not return to the elevator right away, the entire assault squad would be completely destroyed, and the Skibidi Scientist could survive. The only way out of the situation was to send one of his special agents to activate the alarm, because only in that case would Plunger Man immediately return to the elevator, and Lucky Cameraman would close the passage for the Skibidists. What happened in practice? In the distance, we saw the glow of that very special agent, the twin under disguise, who activated the alarm button. This is precisely why the secret agent produced the data transmission error at that moment, as there was a risk that the twin could have been captured on camera. As a result, it was precisely thanks to this risky move that Plunger Man left the conveyor belt in time, thereby ending up in the elevator. As a result, the assault squad avoided a full-scale confrontation with the Skibidi hunter, but still lost one of the squad members, Large Cameraman. Well, at this point, I suppose it's time to wrap up. Thanks to everyone who watched this video to the end. If you want to see more content like this, let us know by giving this video a like and sharing your opinion in the comments. I also recommend visiting Mr. Boom's official store, which sells all the merchandise based on the Skibidi Toilet series. You can check it out via the link in the description. Stay tuned.